going on, everyone? It is episode 203, recorded on Sunday, April 28th, 2024. I'm Drew, and hey, John, how do you spot a blind man on a nude beach? It's not hard.
No.
What is up, everybody? On tonight's episode, we continue to revisit old games in our backlog. We discussed the Indie Direct. Yeah, we know it's old news, but we're going to talk about it anyway. And Paper Mario is on the horizon. So let's break it down and talk about one of the best Mario games of all time. John,
I would buy the digital deluxe version of PP Mario.
I would also buy I'd buy the deluxe rated R version of that one.
Early access, everything.
You name it. What's going on? How's your weekend?
I had an interesting long weekend.
Okay. Weekend? Why was it a long weekend?
Well, so on Thursday, we went up to Estes Park. Okay. For like a long weekend. Is basically our 20th anniversary celebration weekend. Our 20th anniversary was last week, but we decided to wait to go up to Estes Park because the kids had Friday off from school.
Sure.
So it was like, okay, cool. So we're going to go up Thursday night. Estes Park is like, hour 45, 2 hours north of us.
Manageable. Yeah.
Love the place. We used to go a lot more before we had kids. And so, we got a cabin, and as I usually do, we get a bigger than needed cabin. We got a 4-bedroom cabin.
Okay.
And just so we can really stretch out. Like, I don't need the rooms per se. The kids can like bunk together if they wanted to, but just to have a big sprawly cabin. So we did that, and we drive up there, and we got this huge cabin, a little old for my taste. It was a little out of date, but I mean, it's fine. It had
got the job done. Had a roof.
If you ever get a cabin, like the kitchen utensils are always like the creepiest. Anyway. So that is Thursday night. We just kind of hang around because we got up there. We had some food that we brought up to the cabins. We had some cold cuts, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We started working on a puzzle, right? Okay, cool. Let's do a puzzle. It's dark out. It's cold. Sleep overnight. Friday, we do some rock climbing. Basically, so I'm staying at the YMCA. They have activities. The kids loved rock climbing last time. We didn't have Cedric with us yet. We had Sebastian and Melody. Melody didn't really love the rock climbing. She was kind of done halfway through.
Is this like a rock climbing wall? Or is this like in the wild?
No, an indoor rock climbing wall.
Gotcha.
I want to say I got to the top of the rock climbing wall for the first time in my life.
Did you feel like you would have a heart attack when you're to the top?
Yes. Yeah. I'm afraid of heights.
Oof.
And, I'm a heavier guy. Like, you got to pull yourself up. It's a little more effort. You know what I mean?
Rock climbing's no joke.
It's no joke. And when you're afraid of heights, you kind of get to a point where, like, you can fight through it. But you're like, I don't want to. I'm scared to fight through it. But I got to the top twice. So I felt really proud of myself.
Good for you.
We did that. We went to Estes Park, whatever. So anyways, after we finish all that, at about 2:00, Michelle drives home 2 hours to pick up Cedric because he had a required school thing he had to do. It was like, we learned about it a few weeks beforehand. And to pick him up and come back. It took 5 hours
God bless her.
Home and back. God bless her. I mean,
Mom of the year. Mom of the week, at least.
I just can't imagine doing that. In that time, I did not see Sebastian because he was in his cabin room with the door closed, playing on his phone, whatever. Couldn't get him out.
For 5 hours?
5 hours, the kid.
So it was just you and Melody, just the two of you.
Yeah, we did a puzzle. We had hot chocolate. We kind of chatted for like a little bit.
Little father-daughter bonding. Sounds lovely.
Exactly.
How often do you get that?
You don't get that a ton.
No.
My kids have gotten older and they just go they're mostly in their room.
She's 13 now?
She's 13.
Yeah.
Sebastian is withdrawing more and more. Anyway. 7 o'clock, they come home. We go out to dinner. We have a nice barbecue meal. Very cool. Great barbecue place. I forget the name of it. It's like Dave's. I don't know. It's a chain and not a big chain.
Okay.
But it's really good, really cool. And we come back. We start working on another puzzle because we had a lot of fun together just doing puzzles.
Yep.
And eventually I go to bed about 11 o'clock or 11:20 or so. Go to bed. I wake up about 5 o'clock and Michelle says the power is out.
Oh.
Apparently the power went out around midnight, but I didn't know.
So was it cold in there?
It was. So we were supposed to be getting a snowstorm and we had some activities lined up for Saturday.
Yeah.
No, we had some activities. Yeah, we had some activities lined up for that Saturday. And they try to like reschedule from later because they said we might be getting 1.5 feet of snow. It's like, oh, great.
Holy shit.
You're in a cabin. You're not in a hotel room, right? I don't know if you've ever stayed in a cabin, but
I have.
Right. I think you did for New Year's, right?
I've done it a few times, yeah.
When you're in a cabin, it's about bringing your own food and cooking and playing. And it's not like when you go on vacation, you're in a hotel and then you go out and you do something.
No, it's different.
It's a different kind of thing.
That is kind of the vacation.
Right. You're sitting on the patio, looking at the mountains, gorgeous views, fresh air, quiet, that sort of thing. So anyway, I wake up at like 5 o'clock and I can't go back to bed because I'm like, oh man, is the power going to come back? It's been off for like 5 hours. My phone wasn't charged. Nothing was charged. It was kind of a mess. So I stay up. I'm playing my Switch for like an hour and a half or whatever. And power's not coming on. It's getting progressively colder and colder and colder. And so we didn't know what to do. We couldn't get out of the cabin because 1.5 feet of snow. No, like where are we going to go? You know?
Yeah.
We were like playing board games. It was fun. Ticket to Ride. We played or whatever. It's getting to like 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock. And we're just like getting the cabin fever now. Like, what are we going to do? The power's been out for almost 12 hours. I had called up the front desk. They didn't, we were on the list. By the way, the whole YMCA, like 90% of it, the power was out.
Okay.
They had generators on a couple of the main buildings, but all the cabins were no power. And it's getting colder and colder. So we decide, let's drive into Estes Park. They had plowed the YMCA and they actually had plowed our cabin. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's try to drive if it gets bad. We ended up going to Estes Park proper, right?
Okay.
So we end up doing that. The other thing we had to do was the alpine sled. You know what an alpine sled is?
I think so, but maybe not. Is it like the slide thing, or is it's
like a slide? It comes down a mountain, usually on concrete. So we did something like that. It turned out it wasn't like that, but it was it was like a ride. It was
like a roller coaster individual cart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we were worried that we were just going to have to get a refund on that because it had cold. But I called up and they said, oh, yeah, we're opening at 12:30, a little later than normal. And we're like, hey, let's go. So we go.
Okay.
Had a blast doing that. Then we went to Estes Park, walked around, shopped, whatever. We get back. Power is still out. Brutal. And it was just colder and colder. And so we decided to just leave.
Oh, go home.
And it sucked because Cedric was basically at the cabin and awake for maybe a couple of hours. He was tired because of the day that he had. And then he woke up and there was no power. And that was it. So we ended up driving home. We got home last evening. I got a credit for my cabin. I was going to Karen so hard if they said I couldn't get a day credit. And I was checking out at 6 o'clock. But I was just like, I said,
What were you supposed to leave, like midday Sunday today?
10 a.m. on Sunday, yeah.
So it's not like you lost a ton.
No. Well, yeah. And I was like, I used my kids. I mean, I said, oh, my kids are cold and whatever. Thankfully, they didn't even argue. They were like, oh, that's fine. They gave me a full credit. So I got a half day for free out of a freezing cabin. But yeah, it just wasn't what like we hoped, we can do probably a whole show on vacations that did not go as planned.
That's fair.
This was our anniversary weekend, so it was kind of like lame. And my kids, I gotta say, man, my kids are at that age where they don't really appreciate anything. And like, like we'll make dinner, my boys will come down and eat and not even talk. and then
And
go
then just immediately
upstairs.
leave.
Yeah, we have to just keep like talking to them, and they're kind of like teenage Reese. They're like, yeah, okay, yeah, school's fine, like
Yeah,
that sort of
that's
thing.
tough.
It's like, please age 10 more years. I can't take it.
Or 10 back.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Pick one. Yeah. We look at the picture of the kids when they were younger and they're all smiling and whatever. And it's
I
like,
know.
oh, we missed that. I really
Sometimes,
missed that.
you don't realize when, like kids that are my age, it's
Mhm.
like they're so needy, but
Mhm.
it seems like you're gonna miss that. So you want them to be needy in a way.
Yeah, it's like the grass is always greener. There's something nice when they get older and you don't have to sit
Sure.
there and babysit or whatever.
Yep.
But then you
But
sort of like lose a little
you miss them.
something. My son has a job interview
Oh,
tomorrow. I didn't know that until today.
he didn't even tell you?
Didn't even tell me he has a job interview. Now he's 15 years old. Like what the fuck? But like he's got a job interview or so, and I don't know how we feel about him getting a job at 15 because he can't drive himself, and
Yeah, well, at
I
least
don't
he's
think he
taking the initiative.
understands it.
What does he want? What is it for?
He's working at a cafe doing either dishes or he said hosting, and it's like you're 15, man. Imagine you go to a cafe and a 15-year-old is sitting you. That's weird. But anyway, and my other son has a prom date, and we did not
That's
know
right.
about that. Like, so what the hell? Like, this is
Like
your
they're at
future.
this age or a phase, they don't even want to tell you anything.
They don't want to say anything because they don't want you to make a big deal of it. But geez, like, so I'm not even giving my son like interview advice. Like, no, if you don't even want to tell me you're interviewing, then I'm not going to help you.
If you
with
want
your
to ask
interviewing.
me, I'll tell you. But
Exactly, you're just going to get mad and be like, it's old advice.
I know, Dad. I know.
Yeah,
You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. That was my weekend. I don't know. I feel like I have to make up for it maybe this summer. Maybe run to Universal and go to the Nintendo World or something.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That
I
sounds
wasn't sure if we were gonna like do that sort of thing. We had
How
to buy
long
a
of a
new
drive is
car.
that?
A day and a half.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's not bad though. It's a fun drive. You go through the desert. You just hope you don't pop a tire or something.
Doesn't sound that fun. Yeah, you go through the desert and
where you are on the East Coast, the highways are always crowded. There's a lot of people.
it's brutal.
When you are driving between Denver and like LA, it's all empty.
Like
It's
whatever
just-
the GPS says, that's accurate. Like
It's-
me, I have to look ahead of time and be like, well, there's gonna be traffic regardless of what time.
Right.
How much traffic is there gonna be?
Yeah, basically the GPS says drive 700 miles and then make a left. Like that's what it is.
Yeah, so that's just like
So-
you just cruise control it and you just find something to listen to and go.
Yeah, I don't think I can drive to New York ever again, but I can drive to California. It's not a bad drive.
Nice.
How was your weekend? Better?
Yeah, not bad. I don't think I talked about last weekend. I went down to New York City, right? I think I talked to you a little bit about it, but I don't think.
Oh yeah.
We had a blast. Evan and I went to the kids. We went on the train. The kids had a blast. We went to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
took
MSG.
A tour. It was cool. The first like 20 minutes, I was concerned because we wouldn't like go in. Like we were like in like the outskirts of the stadium still.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about like the history of all the different people like Billy Joel and WrestleMania and all these big things that happened over the years and how it started. Like, don't get me wrong, I thought it was quite interesting, but my 7-year-old didn't give two shits. So I was like,
Wow.
oh boy, like how's he doing? Is he gonna just like I want out? But no, he did good. He held in. And then we went to like what they have like a skyloft type thing at Madison Square. It was pretty awesome. They were setting up for the New York Knicks game, which was awesome because he's obsessed with basketball.
And the playoffs were probably just started.
It was just, I think it was game one they were setting up for.
Cool.
They were playing the next day. And since it was the next day, we got to go down and go in the locker rooms. We got to see both the Knicks locker room and the New York Rangers locker room, which was pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
We went in like some presidential suites. And then we couldn't go on the floor, but we got like 10 feet from the floor and to take pictures. So he had a blast with that. My wife and daughter went to the Harry Potter experience thing. They loved that.
Mm-hmm.
Times Square, Rockefeller, Plaza, was Nintendo store, NBA store. We had a blast there. The kids loved it. No meltdowns. They are getting older, less and less meltdowns, which is key. They do well.
New York can be an exhausting place.
It can be.
Just to go like a few blocks, it is like a trudge. There's
You think
people,
it's like
smells.
it's right there, but it's far.
Yeah.
And it's always busy. But yeah, no, the kids behave. They listen to us. They stay close. Across the street, we told them, hey, you gotta like hold our hands. Like, I don't care how old you are. You're holding my hand in New York City on the streets.
Scary place for an adult, let alone a kid.
I know it is. And then so Friday night, I gotta tell you. So my mom thought it was a good idea to buy my family and my brother's family, kind of like without telling us, tickets to the circus, John. Like Rinlin Brothers circus. Like I haven't gone to the circus in 15 years at least, probably more. And I don't know if you know this. This was the first year there's no longer animals because PETA won. PETA won the battle.
Yeah.
There's no animals.
So it was always a little weird and conflicting.
Yeah. And so I'm going into this kind of not like let's quote the Nintendo dads here for a minute. Like super low expectations, right? Like just like this is going to be shitty. I'll tell you what, it wasn't that bad. And maybe because my expectation was so low, I was like, what is it possibly going to be? But it was entertaining. I mean, it was like watching America's Got Talent, but in person. Like that's the best way to describe it. And
what did it have? Like a little trapeze,
they
motorcycles, and the ball.
Yeah, well, they didn't have they had like BMX in. They had the jugglers. They had a lot of contortionist type stuff and like balancing. It was exactly what you think it was. The human cannonball,
right?
So it was fine. It was you just sometimes do stuff for the family.
Yeah,
it was one of those situations. But the kids actually loved it, so we had a good time.
Yeah.
Then today we decided to support the local high school. We went to see Alice in Wonderland. They were putting on a play. We had like nothing to do. It was like, let's go watch it. Support the school system and take the kids. And it was as expected. It was weak. It was weak.
High school's not terrible. I guess it depends on the school too.
Yeah, I think I had a little bit higher expectations, but.
So did you have no connection to the high school at all?
No, I mean, I did know like one or two people in it just because like I'm friends with the like maybe the parents have younger kids and that's like the older siblings. But no, I mean, it's just, I guess giving money to the school system my kids are in is just one way to look at it. But no, I didn't go for like a special reason.
That's cool. Yeah, we used to see a lot of like plays and stuff at school. Then COVID kind of like interrupted things. And then I feel like I haven't done it in a while, but
yeah, I mean it was $40 like for all four of us to go, so $10 a ticket. And we figured, you know what, get out of the house for 2 hours and something to do. But yep, that is about it though. Well, speaking of that's about it, John, we finally have a little bit of games starting to roll out for the summer here. What are we coming up the next couple of weeks here?
Do we? Well, I guess, yeah.
Not real. I mean, better than the last month.
Ooh. May 2nd. I didn't realize it was so quick, but May 2nd, Endless Ocean Luminous.
Any interest?
Coming out. No, honestly.
Well, I think Kuzi's going to play it, so we can get the insight from him.
Yeah, I think he's contractually required to play it because this is a Nintendo published game.
True.
No, and the multiplayer looks like it could be interesting, but how many people know 14 people that you want to go explore the ocean with?
The problem is we talked about the Switch. I feel like I mean, it is Nintendo published, but I do have concerns on how that's going to run.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's not going to run great. May 9th, Animal Well.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about that a little bit later, as well as Little Kitty Big City, also May 9th. And also May 9th is Vampire Survivors Operation Guns.
I obviously I know what this is, but
I
haven't seen the screenshots or trailer of it. I want to see what
was that in the I don't know. That wasn't in the indie world, right? I think it was just an ad. So
I want to see what it looks like.
It's a DLC for Vampire Survivors that
I know what
it's in Contra.
It does look. I mean, that's interesting. Look.
Yeah. So and we got some good stuff coming. Nothing that's shaking the world, but as always, the indies are sort of carrying Nintendo along right now.
You could
third
say
parties
that.
and indies. So at least there's a couple good ones. At least a couple good ones. Yeah, and I'll talk a little bit about Vampire Survivors because spoiler alert, I bought Vampire Survivors
Now,
and I've been
the
playing
only
it.
time you played this was at Extra Life with us?
I played a few runs of it on Game Pass
Oh, that's right.
in I think it was actually right before New Year's, December 2022.
Okay.
It wasn't my thing. I was just kind of playing it, and yeah, and then I
It's
played it
okay.
on the marathon once, and for some reason it doesn't connect with me. But I'll talk a little bit more about it later because, yeah, I can see some appeal to it. It's starting to grow a little bit. Not all that bad. In fact, let's get right into it and talk about what we've been playing. And it is, like you said, a list of backlog.
It pretty much. It's pretty much where we're at.
It is the who's who of the hottest 2022 games available. And yeah, so I'll start and say that like I did play Vampire Survivors. And the big difference really here is that when I played it on Game Pass, I was just checking it out because everyone was like, this is the hot new game. And now I'm sort of playing it as sort of a campaign, right? I'm trying to like pay attention, come up with strategies, that sort of thing. And it is interesting that you unlock items. When you get the achievements in the game, right? And it's like, oh, you killed 100 enemies in a run, blah, blah, blah. And it unlocks an item. I didn't know what it was. I was like, where is this? Can I like I unlocked a crown. I was like, can I wear the crown?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, is that what it is? And then it turns out like these are just items in the game
that you can now find.
So it kind of is making the whole roguelike aspect interesting because the first time I did a run, I was like trying, I was upgrading my whip, which I thought was cool because when you start off the game with the first character, Antonio, I can't remember the first character. You have like a whip, and it's just like a waka, you know, like that sort of thing. But when you upgrade the whip, it goes waka waka, like it goes behind you. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like that's what makes roguelikes fun, right? I'm getting more and more powerful. And then that didn't work. I died. And then I tried doing the wand, and then like you're just trying to like upgrade one thing a lot. The Bible, like all of the different ones. And but then you start getting new items and you're like, oh, this one's pretty cool. Oh, I like this one or whatever. So I'm just trying to do runs and get better and unlock things and check things out. I'm still using the first character. I don't know if my goal is to like, what do you have to do? Like you have to go survive 30 minutes. Is that like how you beat a run?
Yeah, death comes or whoever.
Okay.
You have to kill death. But I've never killed him. You have to do stuff within the levels to kill him.
Oh, okay. I have figured out that you want to go find all the little torches.
I had to look it up. And I never did it all. There's a lot. There's a trail of things you have to do.
Okay. I started hunting the torches because they have like cool items and stuff that help you, like the flamethrower thing, which is really fun and whatever. So I'm finding some fun with it. At some point I might look it up, but for right now I'm just kind of trying to figure out how to do it.
That's what I did. If you're starting to get bored of like, all right, I feel look it up. You should look it up and just say, all right, what do I have to do now?
Yeah, and I'm trying to find treasure chests and stuff like that and understanding how it's showing you where the treasure chests are and all that. So I'm not playing it like constantly. I'm doing a couple runs every now and again as a break from other games.
Nice.
So Vampire Survivors. And I'm trying to see, I'm going to see if I can beat it by May 9th because I am interested in this Contra DLC as of right now. So. And then I played the Axiom Verge games, which I think I was in progress the last episode. I replayed Axiom Verge yet again, my third time.
Jeez.
Axiom Verge is amazing. It really is. It's one of my favorite Metroidvanias. It's just got such a cool aesthetic to it. I love the whole buggy nature of it and the sounds and all that. And you're always getting upgrades and it's just very enjoyable. I played through it a third time. Every time I play through it again, I'm like, I'm going to do a 100% run or whatever. And then when I finish it, I never go back and do 100%. I'm just sort of done. The only bad part of Axiom Verge is navigating through the world is very slow. There is no fast travel.
So if
you are somewhere and you need to get somewhere else, you just gotta like go around. There's kind of like a train in the middle of the whole world, but it's just slow to get around. So it's not a fun game to 100%. Games that let you fast travel really quickly are always way more fun to do. And then I finally played Axiom Verge 2.
Okay.
And this is a game I've been wanting to play because I love Axiom Verge. And it was a freebie on PS Plus a year and a half ago or so. So I had it and I was like, let's play it. And it has a different feel than Axiom Verge. Like, it just feels different than that game. As soon as you start off, you're in Antarctica. It's very snowy. You're not in like on some other planet. And then there's like some mystery with your character is trying to find their daughter. And that's sort of the storyline to it. And no, it's very interesting. It's similar in many ways. Some of the upgrades are very different. And I would say I enjoyed it overall. But I kept getting lost. For some reason in this game, I kept not knowing what to do next. I would just go around. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? There's no Navi there to help you and tell you what to do next. There's no quest log to tell you what to do next. It's really lacking for that. So if you lose track of what it is you need to do, really, you're just supposed to wander around until you stumble on something or you look it up. So I kept getting stuck in the game and I was getting frustrated. At one point, I almost quit. But when you're not lost, it's actually very enjoyable and very clever map and everything. The way, like when you play Metroidvania and like, I can't get here. And then you realize you've come around and you come through and you're like, oh, that's how I do that. And there's very interesting powers. There is like a power where you use a bomb and it changes some of the landscape and then you can get through places. There is there's like a magnet that can bring a beam over to you. And then the whole thing about this world, what does it remind me of? You have this overworld, but there's also this, what they call the breach. And the breach is the map, but it's overlaid so that if you go into the breach here, you'll end up in the breach here. And then if you travel within the breach and come out here, you're in the overworld in the same place. So there's areas of the overworld you cannot reach unless you go into the breach and get around in there and then come out of it. I'm trying to think of what that reminds me of. Probably like Link to the Past or something. But
okay, yeah, I did see that.
So you have to go into a different map and then you come out of the map. I think there's some other games
wasn't
too.
There a game like that was a 2D side scroll that you went indoors, and in the door led to like the opposite side of the world?
On the opposite side of the world,
it flops you're on the other side of. There was a 2D game like that. Maybe it's Axiom Verge 2. I'm thinking of. I don't know.
No, but I think that there definitely is like other games like that. Not too many, but
no, yeah.
It took me a long time to realize that the maps were overlaid because they don't really tell you that. But after a while, I started to figure it out. So it made it interesting when you're trying to go through. Oh, you know what? Like Tears of the Kingdom is kind of like that when you go underground and then you come up. Yeah. So it was interesting. Just too many. I'm going to say, like, the game is really good, but because I got stuck like 4 or 5 times and it was so frustrating, my overall play experience wasn't fantastic, but the game was very good. Sometimes you play through these games and you don't get stuck and it's like awesome. And then other times you get really stuck and it ruins it a little bit. So I didn't have the best play experience. If I played it again, I think I would have a much better time.
Nice.
But I finally played that one. And then the game I've mainlining on Switch is Unicorn Overlord. I'm still going at it.
Still loving life.
I think our last episode I said I might quit on it, but I literally ran it and said, okay, this is my last shot. And I started playing and I was like, it started to get its hooks in me more. And I was like, okay. But it's still the same game as it was before. It is very grindy. You just do level after level after level. But it's fun because you're exploring this overworld. You're looking for little items, not like secrets per se, but you find these little towns to free and you'll get an item and something. Nothing crazy, I don't think. And it becomes hard to like manage the inventory as well. I probably have some really cool things I'm not using right now because of it. But it's just really fun to go in, beat a level up, level up a bunch of dudes, promote them to a different class, save your game, go explore the overworld, find items, deliver items, blah, 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 blah. It's just a grindy game. It's going to take me at least another couple weeks, maybe more. But I'm into it, and it's the perfect. You'll appreciate it. It's the perfect like Netflix game.
Okay.
You don't need the volume. There's voiceover in parts of the game, but I don't know. I just read it, and
Nice.
I'll watch a movie while I'm just sitting there grinding through levels, and it's enjoyable. It's not game of the year or anything like that. Some people say it's game of the year. I don't see it, but I'm enjoying it. So
nice.
And then and then I started Dave the Diver. I haven't played too much. I think I've played maybe an hour.
Okay.
It didn't get its hooks in me when I played it on Switch. I played the demo a little bit. It did get its hooks in me a lot more. It's on PS Plus. That's why I gave it another shot. And it got its hooks in me a little more. Very, very beautiful game. If you like Dredge, then you'll like Dave the Diver. They're almost the same exact game. You're doing a simple thing. In this case, you're a guy named Dave. You get invited to this sushi restaurant. You have to go diving underwater in what they call, I think it's called the giant blue hole. And it is itself like a roguelike thing. It's like basically you go into the ocean underneath the boat. And every time you do it, the ocean is different. So there's different things to find, treasure chests, fish to catch.
You get into that loop of going down, fishing a little bit, and then you back up. Yeah, it's that.
Yeah, it's like a roguelike thing. And then you come back, you got a bunch of fish. You're constantly getting quests from people. Someone's like, oh, I need a couple of these lavender fish and whatever. And then, oh, I need parts for my gun and all that. It's getting a little ridiculous. Like I just got a gun the last time I was playing. And and then you go where I was worried about this game was the part. It reminded me of Moonlighter when it gets described.
Oh, geez, yeah.
You have to work in the restaurant, and I'm like, no. But it's different because Moonlighter sucked. That part, I hated it. What happens is, based on the fish you catch, you add items to the menu. So if you catch a bunch of blue tang, right, then you can sell that kind of sushi. And that part's easy. You just set the menu items. You're like, that, whatever. And then you have to work in the restaurant. So people will come in. There's a sushi chef. And I think his name is Benko or something like that. And then people come in and then they have little, quote, little bubbles on their head. So one of them might be I want some sushi. So you have to go over to the chef and pick up the food when it's done. And then you have to bring it over to the person and serve them. And then sometimes they want tea. And so you have to pour the tea, and it's a little mini game to pour the tea, and you got to try to pour it exactly right.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to clean up. And I think there'll probably be some other things to do. But right now, those are the three things that I do. And and you just kind of survive it. It's kind of fun. It's very actiony. It's not like Moonlighter where you're strategically trying to price things and whatever.
If I know you only played some of it, if you had to pick between this or Dredge, which one did you like better?
Oh, it's too soon. Yeah.
Too soon.
I'd
be interested to know later on. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about Dredge that's so fun is you get a whole bunch of quests and you just do them, and it's pretty chill, but it is a little stressful. Dave the Diver I don't feel the stressful side. I don't feel rushed. And in fact, when you dive, you have a certain amount of oxygen, but you can get oxygen while you're underwater. And sometimes you just go long enough where you're like, okay, I'm just done. I'm bored or whatever. And you're, that's it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really get stressful. And so I'll definitely let you know the next time, what I would choose between them. But they're both very similar. I think if you like one, then like that. And Dave the Diver has Dredge DLC.
Yep.
I don't think that's out yet, but it has Dredge DLC coming. Maybe it's out. I have to look. So
nice.
Yeah. Playing a lot. How about you?
Been playing a decent amount. I think last time we chatted, I was balls deep into Hollow Knight. I fucking quit. I quit the fucking game. It's fucking stupid.
Did you really?
The game is stupid. And when I say I quit, I was 7 hours in. It's not like I gave it a solid chance. And here's the thing. I didn't quit necessarily because I hated the game. I didn't quit because I hated that there was no direction. I didn't quit because it was Metroidvania. I quit because of the way the fucking currency system works in that game. Where the whole point is, and I'm going to call it gold because I forget what it's called. The idea is to collect gold like in any game, so you can go to the shop and buy shit, right? simple mechanic of 95% of video games. There was this one thing I kept trying to get, which was like the light, which you can go into like dark areas. It lights up the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very expensive, 1,800, which is a lot of the currency. And as you know, it's easy to die in this game. And when you die, I think I explained this last time, when you die anywhere in the map, like your ghost form stays there and you respawn possibly very far away. And you have to get back to that spawn point and kill your ghost. And you get all of your currency back. Now, if you die on your way to your ghost, that ghost is gone forever and you lose all the currency.
Right.
So I've been dying a lot, but I've been able to get back to the ghost and save my currency.
Mm-hmm.
So I was saving up like 1,800 and I had like 1,500 and it happened. I died and I couldn't get back and I died again. And I'm not lying. It probably was like over 2 hours of grinding and playing to get that much currency.
Yep.
And I said, I'm fucking done. Because like
Done.
I was at the point of the game, I kind of needed that light, I think, to get to the next big area. So it was like, now I'm just going to have to go kill monsters for the next 2 hours just to grind back what I lost. And I said, I'm not doing that. That's not fun for me. So fucking Hollow Knight, fuck it.
I'm not glad to hear you rage quit a game, but Hollow Knight is definitely one of those games when people ask the question, what is a game that everyone loves that you don't like? I do not like Hollow Knight. I think it's well made and all of that.
Yeah.
And I've played through it twice, basically.
God bless you.
But it's not a great Metroidvania. It has a lot of very clear flaws, and that's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Just the basics of the world they don't give you, and they make it a pain in the butt to use. Like you saw, right? The map.
Yeah.
You have to like the map pieces are usually really hard to find.
Very hard.
Yeah, like the person's not just there when you get to the area. Like it's like you have to find them in like the deep recesses.
You missed one turn.
Yeah.
And like you missed them.
You missed them. And then when you start getting the map, you can't see where you are on the fucking map.
That's stupid.
You have to like use an upgrade gem to see yourself. It's like ridiculous. Could you just show me on the map? Like who made that decision? So
I agree.
Stuff like that. It's a frustrating game. And then that deep nest area where you feel like you're buried alive.
Yeah.
Is one of the worst feeling areas.
I was
in a
pretty
game.
far. I don't think it's a super long game. I think I was definitely more than 50% through the game.
There's a lot of optional stuff in the game. Like you get the 3, there's like 3 lights where you have to go. They're kind of spread out, but there's so many optional bosses in the game, like tons of them. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention, I don't think I mentioned last time, there's an app. I think Tim from Nintendo Dads mentioned it on Discord a while back called the Mini Map. It's an excellent app. Now that Nintendo stopped giving us our data for how much hours we play, this app called the Mini Map, you give it your friend code, and you can see exactly how many hours down to the minute you play in the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, yeah.
I use it. It's fantastic. I'm going to use it for the next couple of games. You can link, I think, all of your consoles. So if you have a PlayStation account or Xbox account, you can put them all on there, and you can go between them. I think it tracks achievements. It's fantastic. Mini Map.
Achievements on Switch?
No, not on Switch. It does not on Switch. So yeah, I just want to say that. That's how I know how I played 7 hours and 3 minutes.
Wow.
Down to the minute.
Down to the minute after you threw your Switch across the room and then picked it up.
Sidestep into mobile for a second. John, I'm hooked back into Wild Frost. This game is really like revived. I'm enjoying it. I think I now have more time to focus because I focus the best when I'm shitting, and I've been playing a lot of this on the shitter. I beat the game once already now, and it unlocks these other features. And
wow, so you want to run?
I want to run.
Did you ever win a run on the Switch?
I don't know, but I want to run. It unlocks some of the Ascension type level shit. I'm still trying to understand it all. I'm trying to upgrade all of the huts in my main town, and I'm almost there. I'm enjoying it. I'm back in, baby. Wild Frost, yeah.
The improvements helped. So did you see what I meant? Like when you finish like a
You get
section?
2 options. Yep, that does help.
It's much better.
It was $7 on the phone. I think that was worth it, personally. If you've never played Wild Frost, I guess I should tell you what it is. It is a deck building. I wouldn't say really a roguelike. It's a deck building similar to.
It's definitely a roguelike.
Right? Yeah, I guess it is. I guess you're right. Yeah, we don't have any permanent upgrades. Just unlockables.
Well, you upgrade like cards, like it's like Slay the Spire, right? You unlock cards that you can then find.
Correct.
In the level, yeah.
From that point of view, it's exactly like Slay the Spire. The battle mechanics are a little unique, but it's fun. It's more of like an inscription type battle mechanic where you have like rows of cards fighting other cards in that row. But it's a great mobile game. It plays very smoothly. I love how they have the different like factions that you can play, the different characters and heroes. So yeah, enjoying it. The wife and I have been playing through Cat Quest 2. Let me give you the handy dandy. We are 6 hours through the game. And
did you just say, let me give you the handy dandy?
The handy dandy. Let me give you a little handy dandy guide here.
What does that mean?
Had little the app, the handy dandy app.
I've heard of a handy dandy, but it's not what I think you're about to do.
Listen, the handy dandy can be many things. The handy dandy Andy.
All right, give us the handy dandy.
Cat Quest is fantastic. Have you played any of the Cat Quest games?
No, I own 1 and 2, but I haven't played them yet.
I think you would thoroughly enjoy it. I'll admit, the story is weak. It's one of those games you could probably push A through the dialogue. It's not a lot of dialogue, but it's
cat puns.
There's millions of cat puns. And then the second game, it introduced dogs. So there's a lot of dog puns. But the combat is, you know what the combat's like, John? Ages of fucking mages.
Oh, no, don't say that. It looks so much better.
It does look so much better. But the way my wife and I have been playing this game is she's been melee and I've kind of stepped into the magic role. So it's nice that we can kind of each play different roles and I can heal. So I'm a healer, slice magic, and she gets in there and kind of tanks. And it's just a fun RPG type, upgrading your armors and your weapons. And there's different ways you can play the game based on which type of weapons you want to use and type of magic skills you want to use. Tons of little quests just to getting down to, like you said earlier, with that rabbit hole of just do a quest, upgrade. All right, let's go back to the main storyline quest. The map's kind of fun to explore. It's a unique art style, which I really like. But I love the Cat Quest series. I'm pumped to talk about Cat Quest 3 a little bit later. And this introduced the co-op. I don't think they had co-op in the first one. This would be a game, John, you should play with Michelle. 2 of you guys should play together.
We really don't play many games together.
Well, maybe this is your chance.
Maybe.
Side point, I did buy the wife Pikmin 3, gave it to her. Her birthday was last week.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that.
After Cat Quest, we'll be moving on to Pikmin. The last game I'll mention that I started playing is Hogwarts Legacy, John. I'm on the bandwagon. My character's name is Drew Baggins. For 2 reasons: Lord of the Rings, of course, and also because Drew is banging.
Wait,
it's similar. It's similar. I'm bagging. Bagging.
Okay.
All right. About 2.5 hours into that, towards my handy dandy chart, and it's I wasn't sure what to expect. I will say this: it's more fun than I expected. I kept putting it off. I was like, I'm not sure how the gameplay is going to be, but so many people adored it. I'm at the part, since you've played it, I chose Slytherin, of course, that I did the first 2 classes, a bunch of little side quests. I explored a little bit, and now I'm on my way to Hogsmeade, like just about there. So that's where I left off the last play session. So enough for tutorialize the game. I feel like I have a good understanding now of how to play the game and what the game's going to bring to me. The load times are actually fine. I have no problems with the load times. The game itself on the Switch, it runs smooth, but there's, how do I say it? There's parts of the game that look actually really well, and there's some parts, I think it's the characters more than anything, that look really bad, right? The environments aren't too bad. It's the people, like the hair on the people, like the facial on the people. It's like the people look really bad. But if you can see through it, I have zero performance issues with the game. I would say sometimes, like when you go through a door in the castle, it does like count to 2, sometimes count to 3, and then the door opens, and you'll see like a small loading wheel. So it's almost like, oh, is the door locked? Like when you're trying to walk through a door, you don't have to push a button to open it; you just open it. And obviously they do that for loading purposes, as you can see on the Switch. But it does like count to 2 or 3 in your head, and then the door opens. But
Right.
it's Switch. I'm lucky that I can play it, I guess, versus not being able to play it. That's one way to look at it. And Drew Badgens is enjoying it.
Okay. But you talked about quitting it. So does that lead to the next story?
Did I quit? Did I talk about quitting it?
You are you allowed to tell me about why you were thinking of quitting it?
What'd I say?
Survivor?
Oh, I did get a code. Yes, I have a code. I did do a review. I do have. Yeah, I didn't talk about that. That game's old.
You said if you played Survivor, you're probably going to drop Harry Potter or Hogwarts and probably never continue it again.
I did say that. That's true. I forgot about
that.
I did get a code. I'm lucky enough to get a code for Survivor, because we all know how big of a fan I am of the show Survivor. The game looks god fucking awful. I can't wait to play it. It looks so bad, but my goal is to play and record some footage of one game. I have no idea if that's like 30 minutes or like 8 hours. I don't know. Hopefully I'm not voted out first, so then it should be very short. I don't even know if it works that way. For all I know, it's just mini games. I honestly know nothing about it, but it is Survivor, the TV show that we all love. Let's be honest, we love it. Yeah. So I guess my point is, Hogwarts is going to take me a while to beat. Do I stop it and play Survivor, or do I just keep going with Hogwarts?
Right. Yep.
What do you think? What should I do?
I mean, I wouldn't play Survivor if you paid me. So, but then the idea of playing Hogwarts on Switch is also terrifying as well.
There's not much out there, John. There's not much to do.
There's not much to choose from. So I couldn't tell you. This is like, there's no good decisions here. But I mean, Hogwarts Legacy, I did enjoy overall.
I'm enjoying
Maybe
it.
I could get past it on Switch. I don't know.
That's all. That's all I got.
Okay.
But this episode is brought to you by the spring cleaning champions Manscaped. This season, make sure to groom your carpets and the drapes and the leaders and below the waist grooming. Clear out that winter bush with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 and watch your confidence bloom like the springtime flowers. Embrace the season and join 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our special offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the code NINDADS, NINDADS, NINDADS for 20% off and free shipping. Nice. All right, John, that's it. What do we got for today?
Indie World. And the big question on everybody's mind is Indie World going to save the Switch? It was narrated by Amber and Tyler.
Let's talk about that question for a second, because I think that's a great question, right?
Did it save?
Because I think the Indie World, it wasn't fair in a way, because the expectation was high. It
crushing the shoulders.
We put the Indie World in a very shitty situation where we needed it to save the Switch. Let's be honest, right? It was this, we've been waiting for this a direct. We got the Indie World, that's fine. But the expectation was we needed this to be so good, because everyone is saying, what are we going to play in the Nintendo Switch the next few months, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it wasn't almost fair. But because of that hype and the importance of it, I think it fucking failed big time. Like it failed. It received an F. It failed.
An F?
It failed. Yeah.
Wow. Why? So why? Okay. So why did it get an F?
Well, I just don't think there's games on there that are getting people excited to go off and play. I mean, most of the games that were on the bigger side, we already knew about, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them were mobile ports, which, sure, that's what Nintendo Switch has become. I get it, whatever. But there was nothing really like new and exciting, right? Let me say, like, I feel like we're artificially telling ourselves, like, oh, that game looks fun, I'll play that. but it's because it's not even that we want to, I feel like, anymore. I feel like we're playing games on the Switch because there's nothing else to play.
Right.
Versus like I want to play that game. Like I remember back in the day, like we didn't play games because there was other options that we preferred. I feel like I don't even really have options. I watched this indie direct that you have all labeled here. We're going to go through 17 games, yet I'm still playing games from 2019. Like it's just I don't know. It's just it's not their fault as an indie world direct, but it's scary. It's a scary time for Nintendo.
Yeah, it's not an inspired year. And I think that the indies and third parties, I don't love the third party games that are coming out unless it's like games like Unicorn Overlord or whatever that just play well on the Switch. But we have seen a lot of like 3D games that just look freaking dreadful.
Yeah.
But I thought Indie World was fantastic. And yeah, I mean, like there was a ton of games that I'm interested in. None of these games?
I mean, I guess I'm committed to Cat Quest at this point.
I mean, you're playing, Cat Quest 3 comes out in August, I believe. Where's Cat Quest? Cat Quest 3, August 8th, yeah, with the demo now. You guys can play the demo when you're done with 2.
We could.
So there's nothing really that you're excited about at all?
There's honestly 0 games I'm probably going to play besides Cat Quest. I mean, the Splinter's Fate thing looked interesting, but we'll see. I thought that was already out. That doesn't come out yet?
Which one?
The Ninja Turtles game.
Which the roguelike?
Yeah.
The roguelike one? So it is on PC. It's out on PC. I don't think that's out on Switch. Yeah, that says July. So but it's out already. I think it's on mobile as well. I think you can play it on
mobile.
Yeah. You know what was interesting about that one is that should be everything, right? I love the Ninja Turtles as a kid. I loved roguelikes, and I was kind of excited as I was watching it. But if you really look at the footage, it doesn't look like that very much exciting of a game.
No.
The movement seemed kind of slow and stodgy.
But I wonder,
it wasn't like a Hades type or anything.
Is that because it was developed for mobile? Right? When you develop a game for mobile, it's going to be somewhat limited. Right? So when it gets ported over to a console, you're not going to like change the whole premise of the game. Like you designed it for mobile.
Yeah. I was once preparing a topic for a show a few months ago about if mobile games are holding back console games because they are designed for mobile first.
Yeah.
Games like Wild Frost, like games that like are supposed to be for mobile, even though it didn't come out to mobile till recently, where you feel like the design of it is because it's going to be on a phone and it has to support touch and whatever, and it holds it back. I don't know. I think they could have done better, but like Hades has a fluid motion to it. And a lot of the best games like this have a fluid motion. And this one was just turtles walking around and hitting. It looked lame-ish.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Not as exciting. I had a bunch of games that I'm interested in. And Little Kitty Big City, I think looks awesome.
Yeah.
Michelle already pre-ordered that one. And she never pre-orders games. Little Kitty Big City looks really good. Animal Well, which we already knew about Animal Well, but that one's coming out pretty soon. So I plan on giving that one a shot. Shim is finally coming out. That game we saw, I think, over a year ago. That's the one where the frog is jumping in the shadows.
Yep.
And that one's got a date finally for July 18th, which is still a little bit away, but we finally have a date. That one just looks really cool to me. I'm really excited. I'm definitely going to play that one when that comes out.
We knew about that one as well, though, right? I mean,
we did, but we didn't know when.
Correct. I guess there was just nothing big. And I'm not saying you need to introduce like a huge game, but like there wasn't anything I felt like that was new. That was like, that's different. That's cool. Doesn't even have to be something we know. They just didn't have any of that.
They're indie games, though. I mean, nothing's going to be huge.
No, I get that. I'm not asking to.
I'm really excited for Steamworld Heist too, which has to be. I mean, that has to be the huge. I mean, because that's like I don't even know if I consider Thunderful indie. I hate the term indie anymore. It's so broken, but I've never played a Steamworld game that wasn't like at least
Polished
good.
and good, yeah.
Yeah, and I loved Heist. Heist is a lot of fun to play, and so this one looks like Heist, but with like deeper mechanics and collectibles and that sort of thing. So I'm really excited for that one.
And I might have to give I know you told me the first one I might like. Give it a try.
Yeah,
I'll add to my backlog.
I liked it. I tried Anton Blast actually before we started recording.
Okay.
I tried the demo because it was I think this is a game I would really like, but I tried the demo and I don't know. I don't think it's kind of a game that I would I would like. Maybe I should try it again, but it's just it's very frantic. And I was kind of thinking it as like, is this a game where you can do like achievements and try to do levels over and over again and perfect them and whatever? But it was just a bit too chaotic for my taste. Maybe I just got to get myself in a better state of mind. It doesn't come out till November, so I'll try it again maybe down the road. But that game at least looks very cool and interesting. Michelle bought Stitch, and she's been playing that. She's back into Animal Crossing now.
Amy played that entire game on her phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
It looks like a cool. I mean, I thought it was a cool. The first thing I thought of was this is totally like Picross.
Yep.
It looked interesting, but like those kind of games, like I remember when I did A Little to the Left and I was playing it every day.
Yep.
And I was and like this game has the same thing. It's got daily puzzles, weekly puzzles, but it's like I don't want to get into doing that every day like I was A Little to the Left. And I loved A Little to the Left. I like try to stay away from too many dailies.
Sure.
Right? Like I know people who have like they have all their dailies they go through. I do Wordle every day.
Still?
I've got like a huge streak going and I cannot stop. Like I've said, if I lose, my streak is like a 250 or something.
That's incredible.
If I lose my streak, I might just stop at that point. But like I can't stop. I have this streak going. Duolingo every day. But I don't want to do another game like this.
You can't do another one.
It did look interesting. Then what else? Animal Well, we talked about. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. That I've been telling you I've been waiting for. And that comes out in like 19 days now. So I'm very excited for that one. That's day one for sure. And then, I don't know, Sticky Business seemed kind of neat. Not a game I'll get. Yeah. Some of them I didn't like Yars Rising. I thought that just looked bad.
Yeah, agreed.
I couldn't tell you what Bzzzt was. It's very forgettable. So I thought there was a lot of cool stuff, though. I actually rated it an A+. So
that's asinine.
I mean, because I got two games that I've been very excited for, waiting for a date. I got dates, and then SteamWorld Heist 2 was super exciting. I was pumped for that one. Plus all the other games too. Little Kitty Big City looks really good.
It looks like that Stray game a little bit, but cartoony, like a Nintendo version of it.
Yeah, sometimes those games are like, because have you noticed in the indie world, they always have their pets now?
Don't get me going down that road and get me worked up. You know how much I fucking hate that they have to show people sitting on their couch, and then people come dressed in as some fucking costume. I'm not doing it. You're getting me worked up over it. I'm not talking about it.
Right. I don't know. They just like the developers are always showing up with their dogs, their cats, and they have a lot of games that are pet related because they just know. Sometimes people see games with a cat or dog and they're like, "Ooh, I gotta have that," and then the game's usually not great, right? Like they got you. Mm-hmm. This game, Little Kitty Big City, looks really good. So I'm not gonna buy it because Michelle's buying it, but I might steal her Switch and play that a little bit. So I'm kind of excited for that too. There's just a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, I liked it. Just got to be in it. It's all we got, man. That's it. There's no Nintendo Directs. Heist, August 8th. So what do we have in August? We have Heist. Cat Quest 3 comes out the same day. And I thought there was another August game that's coming out.
No.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken. So, no, a lot of cool summer games.
It's going to be a slow summer. A lot of dolphin.
Yeah, not a lot of Another Crab's Treasure for you, though.
No.
That game's already out. All right. But that was, yeah. I'm glad Another Crab's Treasure came out because I feel like we've been talking about it for like 2 years now. Paper Mario. We've got more information on Paper Mario. TTYD, the 1,000-year door. For some reason, that acronym always throws me.
It's a tough one.
But we kind of got an outline of the improvements to the game. I guess we should start with the bad news first. I got to get your take on this.
Okay.
It's been announced the 1,000-year door will be 30 frames per second. We all love to talk about frame rate.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? The GameCube version ran at 60 frames a second. So you can't even like use the whole, in the old days, games were 20 frames a second. The old game ran at 60 frames a second. And when that game came out, like 10, 12, 14 years ago.
I'm going to say more than that.
And now the update runs at 30 on hardware that is 1, 2, 3 consoles newer. What the hell?
There's got to be something that it doesn't need to run. I don't know. I mean, it's a cartoony, slow-paced game. I don't know if we need... I can't bash it till I play it, and I'll know, because I play that game a lot. Played it last year on the GameCube.
Yeah. I don't think, like, if you told me today, this game runs at 30 frames a second, a lot of these kinds of RPGs actually run at, like, a lesser frame rate.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can't tell. I'm a frame rate snob. And there's some games I can't really tell that it's running at a lesser frame rate just because of the nature of the kind of game that it is. But it is really not a great look when the game was 60 15 years ago and is now 30.
Yeah, it does seem odd.
Look, yeah, I know. I understand there's higher res textures and all that, but this is 3 consoles later. It's not a game that's demanding.
I mean, and the game looked fantastic on the GameCube, to be honest, because that's what that console specialized in.
And it looks fantastic on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre. Like, what you have to upgrade the textures, but you can't hit 60. It's so bizarre. I don't understand the way frame rates are kind of being figured out these days.
Yep.
But to get to the cool stuff, did you want to run through the... I mean, you're the Paper Mario guy. Some of this stuff I'm not really sure about or how it impacts the game.
I haven't even seen this. Was there a video on this?
There's been some analysis of it.
Okay.
So you can change your partner much more quickly in this game. So you have, like, what are the partner names? Goombella. I always just remember Goombella.
Yeah, they have all of them, right? They have the Koopa, they got the Ghost, they got God, I should know them all. The Bomb. This is the one that has the Admiral Bomb. Yeah, there's some good levels in this one.
Bob-omb isn't it Bob-omb from the last Paper Mario, Origami King?
Yeah, this one's like Admiral Bomb, and then you Yoshi, but you have to name Yoshi whatever you want in this one.
Yeah. So you used to have to go to the menu and change out your character. Now there's like a quick
button for
quick
probably a button that brings it up.
Yeah.
There used to be the N64 one. One of the C buttons brought up the quick change menu too. So I don't know how new that is.
Well, it's new to this game. So yeah, there's a little wheel that comes up. You switch them dynamically. They just kind of pop in, then pop out again. There is some help for the main quests and the side quests. So if you press, I think, I can't remember what it was, but you can get a little clue as to what the next thing you need to be doing is, and maybe get a hint on like how to go about doing it, which that's, again, is a lot of the newer games. Yeah. Apparently not in that one. There is a character named Ian Fumis. I think it's a rat, and he will give you guidance on side quests.
Okay.
So that's new. The video I saw, he was like in an elevator or something like that. And then there's also a whole battle training mode where Toad will teach you a lot of the battle training stuff. So he'll teach you how to like fight, strategies, tactics, that sort of thing, instead of just the basics like how to attack and all that stuff. So he'll give you hints on how to be better at it. So they added that. And then we didn't get a lot of information on this, but backtracking. The game had a lot of backtracking. I don't remember it. Maybe you do. The side
quests do. Definitely.
Yeah. So it sounds like they've eliminated a lot of the backtracking. And I'm going to guess, you know how some games, when you finish a side quest, they'll say, oh, you did this. Do you want to go back to Jojo and report it to him? And you go, yes. And it'll take you there.
That'd be nice.
But if you say no, it means I don't want to leave this area. I want to keep looking around.
Yeah,
I'm going to guess that's what that is.
There's a lot of it. I actually have the paper Prima guide for this that I'll probably bust out, and that way I'd like to use it to see the differences between the old version when I play it.
Yeah,
because the side quest we used to use it for that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, great game. I'm not gonna play it again.
I have to. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
You
I
do
have to play it.
Yeah, you got to see, and there's probably going to be lots of other little differences and stuff along the way. All purring along at 30 frames per second, so we can all have crazy tech arguments online.
Can't wait.
I love it. Nintendo recommendations. I don't know if this is new, but Nintendo sent out a newsletter a week and a half ago or so. We don't get the times anymore. Like we just officially don't get how many hours you've been playing. I don't know why.
Weird. It's weird. Why would you just what's the rationale? The change?
I don't understand. I mean, some people aren't playing their Switch, then they won't read the newsletter. But got a thing for Nintendo recommendations, and I was just kind of laughing at the recommendations I got. Now they're random every single time, but I thought we should play a little game. Load up a new set of recommendations and let's go through and see how good Nintendo is at predicting.
Yep.
So let's hear what your recommended games from Nintendo.
Okay. First one is Warframe, The Whispers in the Walls.
That's got to be based on you playing Paladins.
Is that the same type of game?
Not exactly, but it's like a free-to-play thing.
Yeah, I'm out on this. Number 2 is definitely based off of Evan. Lego Marvel Superheroes, which he already has, which is weird. Maybe he plays on his account. Maybe that's why. Third one, Super Mega Baseball 3, John.
Oh, is that the one that you traded me, or you traded me?
I think I played this one and gave you. Did I give you 4?
I think you gave me 4.
So it thinks I played it for an hour, that I want to play the third one.
I played a good bit of 2. I bought 3, never played it, and now I have 4, and still haven't played that.
Next one, Kirby Fighters 2. I didn't know there was a 1. This looks like Smash Brothers, but with Kirby characters.
I think that was free to play, or like $10 or $15 or something.
It's $20. There's a demo available.
Oh, is it? Okay, all
right. My not last one. Saints Row 4, re-elected.
No chance.
What is happening in this game? I'm out. That's it. That's all I got. Do I find these recommendations helpful? No. Thank you for your feedback.
None of them were helpful.
That's it. Last time it was different when I looked at it. There was a golf game
they're random every time. Although I do see a lot of the same ones. Okay, here's my fresh batch. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I got Transformers Battlegrounds, which is it almost looks like a tactics game. Actually, maybe this isn't a bad recommendation at all. It's got like the squares. It looks just like Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. And the Transformers have a different art style. They look like more skewed for kids. I probably wouldn't play this because I'd play other strategy games, but at least it figured that out. Next one is AI, the Somnium Files.
Oh my
God. I think this is like a visual novel thing. I've heard this is really good, but yeah, it looks like one of those weird. I've heard this is a really good game. Not a bad guess. Valkyria Chronicles, which I might own. I think I own this game. This was back in the era when I bought everything that came out. It's like an RPG sort of thing. Whatever. I don't think I would play it, though. It's a bad recommendation. Oh my God. Valkyria Chronicles 4. Maybe this is the one I own. Yeah. Same looking thing. Very weird.
Yep.
It seems to think I'd really like Valkyria Chronicles. Battle Chasers Night War.
I've heard of that one.
This is a good recommendation because I actually did buy this physically. I've heard this is one of those games where it's easy to like skip, but it's actually really good. It looks great too. So yeah, it's a good one. Did I find them helpful? Yeah, maybe I did find them a little bit helpful.
I did it again, and I just found this golf game for $2.99 that I'm kind of into. It's called, I know what it's called? The Golf.
Oh my goodness.
It looks like awful, like me characters playing golf.
There are so many freaking golf games.
The thing with golf games are, it's easy to have a shitty looking game, but still a good game. Because it's, you know what I'm saying? As long as like the golf mechanics are arcadey and fun,
right? Yeah,
it could still be a decent. I mean, look at golf in it. How much fun we had. I mean, the game kind of looks like it is what it is.
right.
But you could still have a good deep golf game.
Yeah,
I might pick this up, play a couple rounds. This is a good watching Netflix, play a round or two.
move over, Hogwarts. The golf is here.
$3. Sale ends May 16th. If anyone wants to join on the bandwagon with the golf, I'm not doing a fucking golf league, but if you want to play it along my side, go grab it for $3.
I did a reload and I got the same games, but I got Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Trilogy. Definitely a great recommendation. And the Game of Life 2.
Like the board game?
The board game. Very strange.
How would you get that game?
I don't play board games on the Switch, so I don't get it. I don't get it. I love how it's like 2.
There was like that's a DLC type game if you come up with a second one.
Yeah, and the board game came out like the 50s or something like that. And it's like they just got around to 2 70 years later. Oh, I just got a whole bunch of Monster Hunter now. Okay, that's right. Hold on, I got to go to the end and check out. Yeah. If anybody wants to see what Nintendo's recommendations are, go to nintendo.com/us/store/games/recommendations. Let us know if you got a good one. All right. We got questions from the listeners. Travis772. Travis is back.
Travis.
One of our big marathon fans. Do any of you guys have any tattoos that have meaning for your children? I'm a big fat no. I have no tattoos.
Same here, unfortunately. Same.
That was the easiest question we ever.
If I did ever get one, I feel like it would be a Goomba.
So you would just skip your kids and go right to the dog.
Goomba is a child in my eyes. But yes. But it wouldn't be my dog Goomba. It would be for him, but it would be an actual Goomba.
Okay. But you wouldn't like mix in the dog in some way? Just Goomba.
I'm not sure how I would. No, I don't think so.
Right. I would get like a chess game printout, like, you know, the moves of like maybe like Fool's Mate or something like that.
Where would you put it?
On my ass.
I mean, it's the only option.
Yeah.
Only option.
I mean, if you put it on your ass, you know, no one at work will ever see it.
True.
I'd probably get a Nintendo tattoo. I don't think I would get. Some people have like their kids and their birth dates and whatever, and it's sweet, but I wouldn't do that.
No, fuck them.
Fuck that. All right, Dorothy Platypus. A question for Drew.
Ooh.
I see how it is, Darth. You don't want to ask me a question, huh? You just gonna ask Drew a question? Am I not here?
Just not. You can answer the question if you'd like.
No, I'm not even gonna read the fucking question. You read it.
I'll read it.
I'm
Drew,
out. I'm done.
If you could build a golf course in any fictional world, where would you want to build one? And who would you want in your first foursome through the course?
Who cares?
Darth, you care, and I appreciate you in this question. Well, the obvious answer is already been completed. It's Mushroom Kingdom universe, or Mario's universe. That's where I would go. But since it's already done, and that's like a freebie, I'll go to my next favorite. And of course, that's Middle-earth, Lord of the Rings. Right? You need to have courses like in the Shire. You need to move on to the plains of Rohan, even at the foots of Mordor. All sorts of fun stuff. Rivendell, maybe along the water. Endless opportunities in Middle-earth. And who would my foursome be? I think I'm going to go with a Hobbit. Let's go with, I think I like Bilbo Baggins better than Frodo. We'll go Bilbo. Then we'll go with a dwarf. Gotta have a dwarf in there. Let's go with Thorin Oakenshield. And then I'm going to go with a human. We'll throw in Éomer from Rohan. I like Éomer. He's a fun character. And then a bonus, I would have a caddy, and my caddy would be Gollum. Maybe Smeagol, the good side. That's what I would do. Middle-earth. I'd probably, of course, play in the Shire, my first 18. But I'd branch out as just like any game, you move from west to east, like the journey of Lord of the Rings, right? You get the courses a little bit harder. The last course is like playing at Bowser's Castle. It's like playing in Mordor.
Wow.
Sounds fantastic, doesn't it?
Fantastic. So cool.
So I'll let you ask the last question so you feel better about yourself.
All right. There we go. I love you, Darth. Solo asks, school is nearly out for the kids. So with you both. You see that, Darth? He asked us both. What are your plans for summer? Got any trips? Wait, he said any trips you got plugged in? Is that like some East Coast slang I've never heard? Any trips you got plugged in?
Like plugged into the calendar.
Is that it?
I don't know. I think
Drew,
so.
Any trips you got plugged in for the summer?
I do have a lot of trips this year. Before I do anything with the children, though, I got to do on a guy's trip first. Actually, I got to talk to you about this. I might have to miss an episode. In 2 weeks, I am going to Myrtle Beach for a golf trip. It's going to be a blast. Cannot fucking wait. We have 72 holes of golf in 4 days.
72 a day or 72
total,
over 4 days?
Total. We do 18, 36, day off, and then 18 holes. It's going to be fun.
That's 54.
Oh, that's 72.
You said
18, 36, day off, and then 18.
Oh, okay. I thought you were adding them up. All right. So 18. Nope. Then you're doing 36 the second day.
1 day.
Whoa. Okay.
Yep. I do have 2 trips to Disney this summer, both June and August.
That's too much.
Well, I told you, when we went in November, we bought season passes. So we're committed.
Yeah, but that's still too much.
Well, there's different things
committed.
You do. I'm committed.
You committed yourself.
I committed myself, but I am now committed.
The second time, mark my words, the second time you go to Disney 2 months later, your feet are going to be hurting before you even start.
No,
you're going to be thinking, like, oh no, I got to walk around again.
If I'm truly committed, maybe I'll go a third time with the wife in like October.
Why?
Get the money's worth. You got to get the money's worth.
I guess, but like you got the annual pass, and now you're gonna like.
I think we're gonna take like 3 years off Disney though.
Okay,
and at times right, because Epic Universe is opening, cruises. So like we'll take a few years off Disney and do some other things.
Okay, yeah, because you're gonna be pounding a lot of Disney.
I'll be pounding it. I'll be banged in it.
I can close my eyes and go to Disneyland right now. I know the park so freaking well.
That's how I feel about Disney. I mean, I could walk around there blindfolded.
Yeah.
What about you?
So we did our ill-fated cabin experience, but we got $500 back from the last day off.
Bubble above your head. What the hell is that?
I did like a thumbs up and it like sees it. I don't know.
No way.
That happened. It detects it. I think the operating system might do it. I'm not sure.
My computer's not smart enough for that.
Woo! We got like $500 back for missing activities and whatever. So I don't know. We have talked about going to Nintendo World. Usually when we go to California, we go to Disney for like 3 or 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
But like when we go to Universal, we just go 1 day. And it ends up being a lot cheaper of an experience. Yeah, so I'm thinking
you should go down the road and go to Medieval Times.
They have one over there?
They do. You should. You ever been to one?
I have. When I was a kid, we used to do Medieval Times. I'm just like worried. I don't want to get stuck in like a big school group of like 8-year-olds. That's my big fear of Medieval Times.
I tried to convince my buddies when we go to Myrtle Beach, there's one, and they're like, no fucking way. I'm like, come on, like we can get drunk before we go. It'll be a blast.
I'm also not a fan of being told to do things than doing them. So like they try to get the whole section to cheer.
Yeah.
Cheer everybody. And you're like, yeah, huzzah. And I was like, I don't. But it would be tempting actually. I'm thinking of going Nintendo World and then San Diego Zoo.
Well, that's fantastic. I've been there.
The first time I went, we just got there too late. We had some other interruptions.
Okay.
And we kind of had to like run through it. And I remember it was getting dark. All we wanted to do was see the pandas, but it was already getting dark. Ooh. So I want to do a whole day at the San Diego Zoo.
Also right next to SeaWorld over there.
And SeaWorld. I want to see the mimes. at SeaWorld.
The what?
Have you ever seen the mimes? So
Like,
they have
guys with a white. Oh yes, I've seen videos of them.
Yeah. I watch them all on TikTok, and
they are funny. I've seen them on TikTok.
Michelle says, "Oh, you have nothing but mimes on your algorithm." I go, great. I love watching them.
I have nothing but boobs and golf.
There you go. Sometimes both.
Yes, it's true.
I think those are the two. Not set in stone. It wasn't set in stone, but now that we had just kind of like a weird cabin experience, I feel like maybe we do need to go to Nintendo World. And like, who's to argue, right? Go to Nintendo World. It's pricey, but we'll do it. Cool. That's it. I'm going to sneeze. Why don't you talk?
Bless you. I mean, there's not much to talk about. The show is over. That is a wrap. We got nothing left to discuss unless you have something a little bit on the shorter side, but that's okay because I'm tired. I'm going to go right to bed and we'll be back. Maybe we'll be back next week in 2 weeks.
Drew is 30. You're still 36, right? Are you 37?
I am 37.
37. Does that include me? No. 37.
Excuse me.
Clerk's reference. And you were very tired.
Exhausted.
So before we wrap it up,
I think you can hear it in my voice still.
Yeah, you're you usually run a little low when we go late, and when you're on the Nintendo Dads, forget it. You like fall asleep on stream. But this is early. You are like already done.
I'm checked out.
30. It's all downhill, man. How old? Can you tell us how old Amy turned?
She just turned 3 days ago. 36.
36. So you're just a little bit older. All right.
That's it.
What did you get her for her birthday?
Pikmin 3. I got her kind of for me. She said that. She opens this. She goes, "So you got me a present for you." I was like, It's for us. It's for us."
That's what you got her?
I mean, fat.
You're fucked.
I got her a Lego. I got her
a Lego what?
It's like one of those city ones. It's like a butch store.
Okay.
And then I got her. She's obsessed with puzzles, so I got her a puzzle to do, and then I bought her this cool like puzzle table. You ever see these things? It's like there's little drawers that come out the side that you can organize your pieces, and then it also swivels.
Yeah. So and
you can place it on like other tables. The beauty is like if you want to put it on like let's say like the living room table.
So it's like a tray.
It is. You can get it up and move it and like out of the room. So like she used to like, I'm not going to start a puzzle till I'm not going to finish it, and I don't want to like be on the table for like the whole week or something. So now she can just like put it. We can put it somewhere else in the house, and she can continue to do it.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the Scrabble Deluxe where you can spin the Scrabble board so people can look at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there are one or two other small things, but that's it. Nothing crazy. So.
Coolio. All right.
Alrighty, that's it.
That's a show. You've had 2 weeks. What is your wise words as we leave? Go.
Abracadabra.
The Dads After Dark show is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available. And if you're using Apple or Spotify, please do consider leaving us a 5-star review. Pretty please? Find us on Threads, Instagram and TikTok at @NDadsAfterDark, or you can leave us a voicemail. Check the episode notes for details. Join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in the Dads After Dark show channels. That's where we chat and participate in monthly mayhem contests, game tournaments and other fun activities. Get access by joining the Nintendo Dads Patreon or by subscribing to their Twitch channel. Check out our Substack at dadsafterdarkshow.substack.com for articles, links to social media, and our merch store. Fancy a t-shirt, perhaps? A big thank you to Family Jewels for our show's theme music. Check out his YouTube channel to hear other awesome Nintendo cover tunes. That's all for now. Good night, Dads. Sweet dreams.